When a newspaper boy from Boston walked into the Sands Casino in 1988, nobody knew he was about to change Las Vegas forever. Sheldon Adelson didn't just build casinos, he rewrote the rules of an entire city. While other moguls chased gamblers, he created something nobody thought would work, a family destination in Sin City. By the time he was done, he'd spent billions reshaping Vegas, billions more influencing American politics, and become one of the most powerful men nobody talked about. This is the story of how one man outspent an entire city to own it. The Newspaper Boy, Boston, 1933. The Depression has the country by the throat. In the working-class neighborhood of Dorchester, a boy named Sheldon is born to parents who know what it means to struggle. His father, Arthur, drives a cab. His mother, Sarah, runs a knitting shop. They are Lithuanian Jewish immigrants trying to make it in America, and they are barely hanging on. The Adelson apartment sits above the knitting shop. It is cramped. It is loud. And for young Sheldon, it becomes a classroom in survival. At 12 years old, he is selling newspapers on street corners. Not because he wants pocket money, because his family needs it. He stands there in Boston winters, fingers going numb, watching people walk past without buying. He learns something then that will stay with him forever. If you want something, you have to make it happen yourself. Nobody is coming to save you. He is not a great student. School bores him. The teachers talk about theory while his father is working 16-hour shifts to keep food on the table. Sheldon wants practical knowledge. He wants to know how things work in the real world, not in textbooks. So he works. He sells newspapers. He gets a job selling toiletries. He borrows money and buys a vending machine route. At 16, he is running a small business. By the time he is in his 20s, he has tried dozens of ventures. Some work, most do not. But he keeps moving. His first wife divorces him. His businesses struggle. He is not some natural genius who sees the future clearly. He is a scrapper who fails repeatedly and gets back up. There is no secret formula here, just relentless forward motion. In 1979, something clicks. He is 46 years old and running trade shows. It is not glamorous work. You rent convention space, convince companies to set up booths, charge admission. But Adelson sees something others do not. He sees the personal computer revolution coming. Nobody is talking about computers yet. IBM is still making mainframes for corporations. Apple is a startup in a garage. But Adelson recognizes that if computers become consumer products, companies will need a place to showcase them. He creates Comdex, Computer Dealers Exhibition. The first show in 1979 draws 4,000 people. That is respectable. Not spectacular, but respectable. He keeps pushing. The technology industry is exploding. Every year Comdex gets bigger. By the mid-1980s, it is the largest trade show in America. Sheldon Adelson is rich now. Not Vegas mogul rich, but comfortable. He has made it out of Dorchester. He has proved something to himself, and he should probably be satisfied. He's not. The Trade Show King, Las Vegas, 1989. Comdex has outgrown every convention center in America. Adelson needs space, massive space, and Vegas has it. So every November, 100,000 tech executives descend on the desert city for the show. Adelson walks through these conventions watching the money flow. Hotel rooms, restaurant meals, transportation, entertainment. Vegas is printing cash, and he is just renting space from them. He is the middleman when he should be the house. The house always wins. Everyone knows that. But Adelson realizes something deeper. The house controls the game. In 1995, he sells Comdex to Japanese conglomerate SoftBank for $900 million. He is 62 years old. Most men his age are thinking about retirement, golf, grandchildren, a quiet life after decades of work. Sheldon Adelson is thinking about casinos. He doesn't gamble, never has. He finds gambling boring and stupid, throwing money away on bad odds, but he understands the business of gambling, and that's different. The casino business isn't about the games. It's about real estate, hospitality, entertainment, and psychology. It's about creating an environment where people willingly give you their money. And Vegas, in the 1990s, is ripe for disruption. The old model is dying. The Rat Pack era is over. The mobster mystique is gone. Vegas is trying to reinvent itself, but nobody knows what it should become. Steve Wynn is building Bellagio, chasing high rollers with opulence. But Adelson sees a different path. He looks at the convention center business he just left, business travelers, corporate accounts, repeat customers who come every year. It's stable, predictable, profitable. What if you could combine that with casino revenue? Everyone thinks he's crazy. Vegas is about gambling. You build a casino to get gamblers. Why would you waste precious real estate on convention space that doesn't make money? Because convention space brings a different customer, Adelson explains. It brings business travelers on corporate accounts. It brings their families. It brings repeat visits. It creates a reason to come to Vegas beyond gambling. Nobody's listening. They're too busy building bigger casinos and louder shows. Fine, he'll show them. The Sands Gamble, 1988. Adelson and his partners buy the Sands Hotel and Casino for $110 million. The Sands is Vegas royalty. Frank Sinatra performed there. The Rat Pack called it home. It's a piece of history. Adelson tears it down, not renovates, not remodels, demolishes. On November 26, 1996, he sets off explosives that reduce the Sands to rubble in less than a minute. People are horrified. You don't destroy Vegas history. You preserve it. But Adelson isn't building a museum. He is building the future. He will call it the Venetian. It will be a replica of Venice, Italy, right there on the Strip. Indoor canals with gondolas. St. Mark's Square, recreated in detail. The Campanile Bell Tower. The Rialto Bridge. People think it sounds absurd. Venice in the desert? Really? Here is the twist. Every room will be a suite, not a standard hotel room, but a full suite with separate living areas. A minimum of 600 square feet. He is going to charge premium prices and deliver a premium product. Competitors laugh. Vegas guests do not care about room size. They are drunk and gambling. They barely see their rooms. Why waste construction costs on space people will not use? Because business travelers care, Adelson counted. Families care. Convention attendees care. Those are the customers he wants. The Venetian will have the largest ballroom in the world. 2 million square feet of convention space, more than any casino in Vegas history. Competitors call it waste. He calls it the future. Construction costs spiral. What starts as a $1 billion project becomes $1.5 billion. Delays plague the site. Critics line up to predict failure. This is too ambitious, too expensive, too different from what works in Vegas. May 3rd, 1999, the Venetian opens. 3,000 suites, massive convention facilities, indoor canals with singing gondoliers. It is simultaneously ridiculous and magnificent. The first reviews are mixed. Some love it. Some say it is trying too hard. But Adelson does not care about reviews. He cares about occupancy rates and revenue per square foot. Within months, the Venetian is outperforming projections. The all-suite concept works. Business travelers love it. Families book rooms. Convention business floods in. Other casinos have to turn away events because they lack space. The Venetian can handle them all. It is outperforming expectations. Adelson is not done. In 2003, he opens the Venetian Tower expansion. 3,000 more suites. More convention space. He is doubling down, while competitors are still trying to figure out if his first bet worked. Vegas is changing, slowly at first, then rapidly. Other casinos start building convention centers. They add suites. They chase corporate business. Adelson has forced an industry to follow his lead. Change is underway. But Vegas is just the beginning. Changing the game, Adelson never thinks small enough. While other casino owners are content printing money in Vegas, Adelson is studying demographics. He sees the American family changing. Parents have money. They want entertainment that includes their kids, not leaves them in hotel rooms. Vegas has been adults only for a long time. But why? The Venetian becomes family-friendly without abandoning adult entertainment. It is a balancing act nobody thought possible. You can bring your kids to see the gondolas and the architecture during the day, then hit the casino floor at night. It is not Disneyland, but it is not the Rat Pack era either. His all-suite strategy proves genius. Business conferences last 3 to 5 days. A standard hotel room feels cramped by day 2. A suite with separate living and sleeping areas means people pay premium rates and leave happy. They come back. The convention business becomes the Venetian's secret weapon. Gambling revenue fluctuates with the economy. People stop betting when times are tough, but companies still hold conferences. They still send employees to trade shows. That revenue stays stable even when casino floors are quiet. The strategy works. Adelson is building infrastructure while competitors chase trends. When the economy crashes in 2008, many Vegas casinos suffer. The Venetian weathers it better because convention business keeps the rooms full. He understands something fundamental about customer psychology. Gambling is extraction. You are taking money from customers. Hospitality is value exchange. You are giving them an experience worth paying for. The casinos that win long-term do both. His competitors eventually copy everything. They add suites. They build convention centers. They chase corporate business. Adelson has a decade head start. And in business, timing is everything. By 2005, the Las Vegas Venetian is one of the most successful casinos in the city. Adelson has proved his model works. He is vindicated in every crazy decision, and that is when he makes his biggest bet yet. The Macau bet. Most people do not know where Macau is. It is a tiny special administrative region of China, across the Pearl River Delta from Hong Kong. For centuries, it was a Portuguese colony. In 1999, China took it back. Macau has one thing Vegas does not have: access to Chinese gamblers. Chinese high rollers make Vegas whales look like small fish. The gambling culture in China is ancient and massive. For decades, Macau was restricted. A monopoly controlled by Stanley Ho held casino licenses. In 2002, China announced it was opening Macau to foreign casino companies. It was a gold rush. Every major casino operator wanted in. Steve Wynn, MGM, and Las Vegas Sands were all competing for maybe 6 licenses. Adelson is 70 years old. He should be consolidating his empire, protecting what he has built. Instead, he is fighting for entry into a market he does not fully understand, in a country with a government he cannot predict, targeting customers who have never heard of him. The licensing process is brutal. Chinese officials hold all the cards. You need local partners. You need relationships. You need to convince Beijing that you will benefit Macau's economy. Adelson pours resources into the fight. He wins a license in 2004. Now, he has to build. The Venetian Macau will be the largest single-structure casino in the world. 51 floors, 3,000 suites, 540,000 square feet of casino space, a convention center with 15,000 seats. The cost was $2.4 billion. Everyone tells him it will not work. Chinese gamblers do not care about suites or convention space. They want VIP rooms and table games. They want prestige. They do not want fake Venice. Adelson builds it anyway. He is betting his entire company on the idea that what worked in Vegas will work in Asia. If he is wrong, Las Vegas Sands could collapse. August 28, 2007. The Venetian Macau opens. The property is so massive, it is visible from space. Adelson stands at the opening ceremony, 74 years old, watching his biggest gamble unfold. It is a phenomenon. Chinese high rollers flood the property. Revenue, in the first year, exceeds every projection. It turns out Chinese customers do want suites. They do value convention facilities for corporate events. They want exactly what Adelson is selling. Macau quickly generates more revenue than the Las Vegas Venetian. Then it generates more revenue than all of the Las Vegas Strip combined. The market is that massive. Adelson adds properties, including Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. He pursues more expansion in Macau. By 2012, Las Vegas Sands is generating over $11 billion in annual revenue. Most of it comes from Asia. Adelson becomes the richest person in Las Vegas and then one of the richest people in America. Forbes puts his net worth above $30 billion. The newspaper boy from Dorchester has out-earned Vegas itself. But money was never really the point. Power was. The political machine. 2006. Republicans lose control of Congress. Adelson watches the results from his office in Las Vegas, and he sees something that troubles him deeply. The political environment is shifting in ways he does not like. He has always had political views, strong ones. He supports conservative causes, unwavering support for Israel, and specific policies on business and foreign affairs. But he has never been particularly active in politics. He has been too busy building his empire, too focused on the next property, the next market, the next billion-dollar bet. That changes now. Adelson is 73 years old. He is richer than he ever imagined possible. The Venetian is printing money. Macau is exceeding every projection. He has more wealth than he could spend in 10 lifetimes. So he starts asking himself a different question. What is the point of having all this money if the world moves in directions you oppose? Most wealthy people dabble in politics. They write 5-figure checks to candidates they like, maybe 6 figures if they are really passionate. They attend fundraisers, shake hands, and get their photo taken. It is symbolic as much as strategic. Adelson does not do symbolic. 2008. Barack Obama is running against John McCain. Adelson does not just prefer McCain. He sees Obama's election as potentially catastrophic for the causes he cares about. So he contributes $30 million to Republican causes that cycle. $30 million. Read that number again. Most major donors, the ones who get thanked at fundraisers and invited to special dinners, give a few million at most. $30 million is a different category entirely. It is enough money to fund entire state campaigns. It is enough to shift advertising budgets, hire staff, and commission polling in swing states. People notice. But 2008 is just the beginning. Obama wins. Adelson watches the new administration's policies on Israel, on Iran, on business regulation, and he becomes convinced he did not spend enough. Next time, he will go bigger. 2012, the rematch everyone is waiting for. Obama versus Mitt Romney. Adelson decides this is the most important election of his lifetime. He is going to do everything in his power to change the outcome. He starts by almost single-handedly keeping Newt Gingrich's primary campaign alive. Gingrich is losing badly, nearly broke, about to drop out. Adelson writes checks, $10 million here, $5 million there. Gingrich stays in the race for months longer than he otherwise could have. Why? Because Gingrich is the most hawkish on Israel, the most aligned with Adelson's foreign policy views. Even if he cannot win, he can influence the platform. He can push other candidates further in Adelson's direction. Then comes the general election. Adelson goes all in. He spends $93 million supporting Romney and Republican candidates. Some estimates put his total spending that cycle at over $150 million when you count every contribution, every super PAC, every dark money group. It is unprecedented. No individual in American history has spent that much on a single election cycle. Not the Koch brothers combined. Not George Soros. Not anyone. Sheldon Adelson is operating on a different level. Romney loses $150 million down the drain. Most people would consider this a catastrophic failure, a sign to pull back, reconsider, maybe accept that elections cannot be bought. Adelson considers it a learning experience. Next time, he will spend more. The causes he cares about most become clear through his giving. Israel's security above everything else. He funds groups that support hawkish Israeli policies, that oppose any deal with Iran, that push for moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. He opposes online gambling because it threatens his casino empire. He cannot compete with an app on every phone. He supports conservative judicial appointments that might rule his way on business regulations. He wants aggressive foreign policy, strong military spending, and politicians who will not apologize for American power. He does not just write checks blindly. He meets with candidates privately. He interviews them like job applicants. If you want Sheldon Adelson's money, you sit across from him and answer his questions about Israel, about Iran, about your positions on the issues he cares about. If your answers do not satisfy him, you do not get the check. By 2016, he is the Republican donor every candidate courts. Presidential hopefuls make pilgrimages to Las Vegas. They sit in his office. They pitch themselves. It is called the Adelson primary. Can you win Sheldon's support? Because if you can, fundraising becomes dramatically easier. His backing signals to other donors that you are serious, viable, worth supporting. The candidates who refuse to court him, who reject his policy positions, find themselves at a disadvantage. It is not that Adelson's money guarantees victory. It does not. But it changes the battlefield. It allows candidates to compete in states they would otherwise have to abandon. It keeps campaigns alive long enough to matter. 2016. Donald Trump is the nominee. Adelson is initially skeptical. Trump is unpredictable, undisciplined, and says things that make even hardline conservatives uncomfortable. But Trump promises to move the embassy to Jerusalem. He promises to tear up the Iran deal. He promises exactly what Adelson wants on the issues that matter most. Adelson becomes one of Trump's biggest donors. He spends over $80 million that cycle supporting Trump and Republican Senate candidates. When Trump wins in a stunning upset, Adelson is seated prominently at the inauguration. He has direct access to the president and his advisors. The payoff comes quickly. Trump withdraws from the Iran nuclear deal. He moves the embassy to Jerusalem. He appoints judges Adelson approves of. Whether you think these are good policies or disastrous ones depends on your perspective, but there is no question that Adelson's money helped make them happen. Critics call it legalized corruption, the buying of policy through campaign contributions. They point out that one man's preferences, backed by casino profits from Macau, are shaping American foreign policy in the Middle East. They say it is fundamentally undemocratic for a single individual to wield this much influence. Defenders call it free speech. Adelson has the right to support causes he believes in. He is not bribing anyone. He is participating in the democratic process at a level his wealth allows. If other people disagree with his positions, they are free to organize and donate themselves. The truth is probably somewhere in between. Citizens United opened the floodgates for unlimited political spending in 2010. Adelson did not create the system. He just recognized the opportunity faster than most and exploited it more effectively than anyone. By 2018 and 2020, he is spending over $250 million per election cycle. It has become routine, expected. The Adelson money is part of Republican campaign mathematics now. He has translated casino profits into political power on a scale America has rarely seen. And whether that is a feature or a bug of modern democracy depends entirely on who you ask. But power always comes with costs. The price of power. When you are the biggest political donor in America while running casinos in authoritarian China, people start asking uncomfortable questions. The scrutiny starts slowly, then intensifies until it becomes relentless. 2009. The Department of Justice opens an investigation into potential Foreign Corrupt Practices Act violations at Adelson's Macau properties. The law is clear. American companies cannot bribe foreign officials, even when operating overseas, even when that is how business works in that country. The investigation drags on for years. Federal prosecutors are looking at everything: payments to Chinese officials, consulting contracts that might be disguised bribes, the hiring of relatives of government officials. It is the kind of probe that can destroy companies and send executives to prison. Adelson fights back hard. He hires the best lawyers money can buy. He denies any wrongdoing. His position is simple. Las Vegas Sands followed all applicable laws. If there were compliance issues, they were isolated incidents by rogue employees, not company policy. The investigation becomes public. Whistleblowers come forward. Former executives claim they raised concerns and were ignored or fired. The media coverage is brutal. There is this man spending hundreds of millions to influence American elections while potentially bribing Chinese officials to protect his Asian casinos. The optics are terrible, but optics and evidence are different things. After years of investigation, the Department of Justice never files criminal charges. In 2016, the SEC settles a related civil case for $9 million, a rounding error for a company generating $11 billion in annual revenue. Las Vegas Sands does not admit wrongdoing. Adelson claims vindication. Critics say the settlement proves there were problems. The truth probably lives somewhere in between. Running casinos in Macau means navigating a system where the line between legitimate business and corruption is often blurry. Adelson navigated it successfully enough to avoid prosecution, but not cleanly enough to avoid years of investigation. The stress takes its toll. But there is a bigger problem than federal prosecutors. 2009. Adelson is diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma. It is a cancer of the lymphatic system, and while it is treatable, it is not curable. At 76 years old, he is starting a fight he cannot win. He can only delay. The treatments are brutal: chemotherapy, radiation, clinical trials of experimental drugs. He loses weight. His skin takes on that particular pallor of someone undergoing aggressive cancer treatment. But he keeps working. Board meetings from hospital beds, phone calls with executives between treatments. He has built an empire, and he is not stepping away just because his body is betraying him. Most men his age would retire, hand off the company, spend their remaining time with family. Adelson cannot do it, or will not. The empire is him, and he is the empire. Stepping away feels like dying before you are dead. His wife Miriam becomes essential. She is not just his spouse, she is his partner in everything. Dr. Miriam Adelson was born in Israel and is a physician specializing in addiction. She is as passionate about Israeli politics as he is, maybe more. They met in the late 1980s when Sheldon was still married to his second wife. Miriam was married to someone else. There was an affair. Divorces. Scandal. They married each other in 1991 and became inseparable. Miriam understands the political game in ways Sheldon's previous wives never did. She is not just tolerating his political obsessions, she is driving them. Together, they established the Adelson Foundation, giving billions to medical research, Jewish causes, and Israeli organizations. Their philanthropy rivals their political spending. When Sheldon's health declines, Miriam becomes his proxy. She attends meetings he cannot make. She represents him at political events. She is not a figurehead, she is a full partner who happens to have a medical degree, which becomes useful when your husband is fighting cancer. The lymphoma goes into remission, then it comes back, then remission again. It becomes a cycle. Adelson adjusts his life around treatment schedules. He travels less. He works from home more, but he never stops working. 2019. Forbes estimates his wealth at $35 billion. He is 86 years old, still fighting cancer, still building casinos, still funding elections. The Republican Jewish coalition holds events at his properties. Presidential candidates still make pilgrimages to Las Vegas. Sheldon Adelson remains one of the most powerful people in American politics. Then 2020 arrives and changes everything. The coronavirus pandemic shuts down the world. Casinos close. Macau bans tourists. Las Vegas goes dark. Convention business evaporates overnight. The machine that has been printing money for 2 decades suddenly stops. The pandemic hits the industry at its worst possible moment. Las Vegas Sands stock craters. The company that was worth $40 billion loses half its value in weeks. Adelson watches his net worth drop by billions. The properties that survived the 2008 financial crisis are facing something worse. He is 87 years old, fighting lymphoma, watching a pandemic destroy the industry he rebuilt. Most people would crumble under the weight. Adelson starts planning the recovery. When this ends, and it will end, people will return. They always do. He has seen downturns before. This one is just bigger. But his body cannot keep pace with his will. The lymphoma treatments become less effective. The remissions get shorter. He is spending more time in hospitals than boardrooms. Miriam is running more of the operation. Executives are preparing for the inevitable. On January 11, 2021, Sheldon Adelson dies from complications related to his lymphoma. He is 87 years old. The pandemic is still raging. His casinos are still struggling. But he has built something that will outlast him. The obituaries wrestle with his legacy. Visionary businessman who transformed Las Vegas. Philanthropist who gave billions to medical research and education. Political powerhouse who shaped elections and policy. Controversial figure who wielded influence that made many Americans uncomfortable. All of it is true. None of it is complete. The newspaper boy from Dorchester became one of the richest men in the world. He proved that poverty does not have to be permanent. That failed businesses do not define you. That old age does not mean you stop building. He also proved that enormous wealth translates to enormous political power in ways that challenge democratic ideals. That success in business does not make you wise about foreign policy. That you can be right about convention centers and wrong about a lot of other things. History will debate whether he was a force for good or a cautionary tale. The answer is probably both. Sheldon Adelson was too complicated, too contradictory, too human to fit neatly into either category. But he was definitely unforgettable. The man who outspent Vegas to control it never wanted to be just another casino owner. Sheldon Adelson wanted to prove that the poor kid from Boston could reshape one of America's most established industries. He wanted to show that convention space could compete with slot machines, that suites could beat hotel rooms, that Asia could eclipse Vegas. He won every bet, and in winning, he changed the rules for everyone else. Whether that makes him a hero or something else depends on who you ask, but it definitely makes him unforgettable.